Hello and welcome to episode number 50. I am Cassie Brown and I am crazy excited that not only are we here, but the message that I have to share with you today is one of the ones that I just might be the most proud of. So let's get started. Hello, I am Cassie Brown, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the Amplify My Impact podcast. After years of consulting and managing programs for some of the top entrepreneurs, CEOs, and marketers in the industry, I am on a mission to expand our contribution, to grow, scale, and create more so we can do and give more. This podcast celebrates entrepreneurs who are boldly stepping up to own their calling, expand their influence, and stretch outside their comfort zone, who've decided to stop playing it small, pick up the mantle of contribution, and serve at a higher level to lead by example and light the way for others. If that's you, then get ready to amplify. There's a fire that burns inside your soul, and we're going to ignite it into a roaring blaze of unstoppable momentum. All right, so here we're at the big 50. And I've got tons of stories to share with you because I joke all the time about this being the little podcast that could, and just how different it could have been if it wasn't even launched. It's been a journey in and of itself. If you've listened this far, you've seen and experienced the transition from Brace for Impact to Amplify My Impact. And this episode is a celebration of that journey, the personal development that I've been through myself, a little bit of the resistance. I'll be open and honest with you guys. This episode here, Parker challenged me when we were planning out what episode was going to be number 50. I had chosen an interview and he pushed back. And I'm so thankful that he did. He said, I love your interviews. Everyone loves the interviews, but this is your celebration. This needs to be front and center, a huge victory, and sharing the journey of getting here to episode number 50. The good, the bad, the ugly, the messy, the imperfect, all of that good stuff. So that's where we're going, and that's what we're going to do. This is a celebration of being crazy enough to just start, to take the next leap of faith, and proving and refining the strategies over and over and over again. The frameworks into a repeatable process. Finding the courage to lead, even when you don't feel like a leader. That is one of the things I still struggle with. Like it's stop and go, those bursts of courage, and then what the heck am I doing 30 seconds later, filling your mind and flooding your heart. Am I good enough? Is what I have to say matter? And the answer is always overwhelmingly yes. And finally, pushing beyond profits and revenue to live in a space of impact-driven results. That's what we're celebrating today. When I started the podcast, I did not have all of the answers. It was crazy intimidating. And I still don't. I look at myself as a lifetime learner. I know and accept that I will not always 100% be right. That's what Google is for. And if I don't know the answer, I have a network and coaches and mentors and just people around me that I can get to. I think that was the biggest thing that I struggled with for so long, is that quest for perfection. And even in launching the podcast, I was trying so hard for it. I would script it out. I would want to read it. I would want to go fast. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I don't want to say, I don't want to hesitate. I don't want to restate things. And it didn't really get better until I threw that methodology away. I tried to fit into a perfect box and it just didn't work. So that's more of what I have to share with you today. But bigger than that, I want to share with you that the struggle that I've went through in just recording this podcast here with you right now. Parker and I talked about it over a week ago, and I was supposed to do it over a week ago. And I willingly procrastinated because this is hard for me. Putting myself first is hard. I have no problem celebrating other people, highlighting their successes, sharing their stories, and just being that platform for them to open up the space, step through, and succeed as a leader. Like, that is what fires my soul. So when he asked me to really take a deep dive and share success stories that I've had personally and in the agency, and that's what this podcast was going to be about, there was a ton of resistance. And it's just, I know that it's rooted and where it comes from, and I understand it, and I don't want to abandon it, but I also have to move it forward and let it adapt and grow to continue to serve others. So it's based on being raised Southern Baptist, and at the root and heart and soul, be humble, be kind, be meek, be servants. That is what I lead with. That is what I always will strive to do. So for me, sharing success stories, I've struggled as a battle of feeling like I'm bragging or saying that I am right, something else is wrong. And it's just that whole internal process. But the thing about it is, sharing these success stories and really what my passion is and what we're doing within the Amplify coaching program and within the agency is serving at a higher level, because I can't really help other people reach their full potential if they don't know what we do, if they don't have a clear picture of exactly the results that our clients get from working with us. And so when you're listening to this, maybe you're listening to this in curiosity, like, what do they really do? A little bit of behind the scenes is what we're going to be getting into today. But also, maybe listen to it through the filter of, are you doing this in your business? Do you find yourself sort of backing away? Because this is really, really going to be looking inward and seeing, are we really showing up as that bold leader to give other people confidence and buying in to not only what's going to be a huge investment for them and their business, but what's going to actually move them forward and that ripple effect of impact? Because you can't have one without the other. Profitability in business is a requirement. Impact is a choice. And we are going to live on the side of impact. So automatically, we know that profitability has to be there. A healthy company has to be there, right? But again, it's not an either or. It's celebrating our wins and really being able to step up and fully serve. All right, so are you ready? Because here we go. I don't know. Some of you, if I've talked on a one-to-one basis, you may know this story. Others probably don't, because again, it's one of our biggest successes, but it's not one that we lead with very often or talk about a ton. We rely on a lot of personal referrals. So a lot of these conversations are one-to-one. But I want to share the story of my client and dear friend who's transitioned into a business partner this year. He's the one that we share the 2 Comma Club Award for, and it's a program for dog training. And I want to share this with you guys because it's brick and mortar, not one digital product. And it's important because if you can see the foundation and see what's capable of brick and mortar, because they have so many expenses, they have set overhead, they have so much stuff that online entrepreneurs do not have to deal with daily. No digital assets, and they did it. So this is my absolutely favorite story to share. And this is the first time I've done it in such a public way. So let me tell you the story. Essentially, this is how I got started. And there is a pattern that I've noticed that every new transition in business starts with just having the courage to step forward and figure it out along the way. We had gotten a dog, and that dog needed to be trained. So I started with a training class, went through beginners, went through advanced, and I watched this incredible trainer have a full class every week and be so committed to the outcome and the experience and the community and how everyone loved working with them the classes and the environment that he created, the results. Like, he had that relationship, he had that connection and that passion to serve at a higher level, like so committed to the experience for the customer. But what he was doing is he was essentially, the systems that he had were numbers in a spiral bound notebook, where every 6 weeks he would call and let them know when the next class was. And I watched how hard he worked to fill those classes, because I was one of those people he called back and let know when the next class would start. And that is pretty much the business model. So I was just getting into digital marketing and online systems, and I had my previous experience with photography. I'd taken off a few years to be with Adam through the surgery and recovery. So this was, I'm looking at this through a completely fresh perspective. And I was just folding clothes one day, and I had the crazy idea pop up where I needed to contribute more. I needed to get back into the game. I wanted a creative outlet. And here was an opportunity sitting right in front of me to serve this business and to help him stay organized, work smarter, not harder, and reach more families, but also organize in a way that is less stressful. So I sent him a text, asked him if he would be interested in any help with marketing and systems. And then I was like, wait, what the heck did I just do? Like, I sent it before I could back out and delete it. And then I kind of just checked my phone all day to see, like, will he reply? Was that stupid? Am I arrogant in thinking that I could help? And then I got a simple text back, sure, let's talk. And the rest is absolute history. We started working together, we mapped out everything, and it was absolutely incredible. And being able to place the systems in the business to create a value ladder of ascension, a clear path for all of the customers to serve where they were at when they first brought home the puppy and they were old enough to start training classes. And what started with just 2 levels of training has now turned into about 8 different offerings of classes through every phase and title that a dog owner or family may want. And not only did that change the business, but it changed the revenue from barely going around the 6-figure mark into 7 figures, a healthy business, a healthy, thriving business. And what did that mean when the business was healthy and thriving? It meant that we could create community programs. And preparing for the podcast today, I realized that we have created about 5 community programs, all through the success of a simple brick and mortar dog training business. The first one we were able to create, we called Friends of Nina, where we started working with high-risk dogs in the Humane Society who were surrendered because they were aggressive. And aggressive dogs cannot be placed in a home right away. Several of them are lucky if they ever get the opportunity to be placed in a home. And the story of this started where one dog in particular, her name was Nina, was returned to the Humane Society over 9 times because of her aggression and because of her just issues, and all of the families struggled until the last family that adopted her took her to Scott to be trained, and her life and theirs are forever changed. From there, we started working with Mission Surah, where it's a group training for CGC certified dogs, where they volunteer in colleges, in nursing homes, and in schools to serve the local community. Then he had the incredible opportunity to work with the local sheriff's department and create the Pups with Purpose dog training program. And that is absolutely incredible, where inmates of the prison, they've partnered with the Humane Society, and he leads them through training the dogs so that these dogs are trained and adopted. And it not only gives like several different community institutions a way to rally together and give back. But these efforts have saved hundreds of dogs because they are trained when they go home and they are not returned. So it stops that cycle. The next one is a school program where he has a mission to place a service dog in every school local in our county, especially for the special needs classes. And it's changing the dynamic and the relationships in the school, of the teachers and the principals with the students. It's incredible when you think about this impact. And the fifth one that we're working on is just to continue to expanding all of those programs and leading the way with just more opportunities and partnerships. We work with one of the ones in particular. There's a lab rescue group. So it's working with different groups with lab rescues and bringing them in and helping them train and adopt. And another is the Great Pyrenees Rescue Group. These dogs are very large roaming dogs, and they sometimes just absolutely get abandoned or released in the wild, or they'll be returned. And these type of dogs are very hard to transition into new homes because of their size and just the intimidating factor of not really understanding the breed or what they need. And so through these programs, we're working with these organizations to get these dogs trained and back into healthy, educated homes. I totaled it up the other day in preparing again for this. Like, Scott's impact alone is over 15,000 dogs and families that they've been able to reach and train over the years. And it's just continuing to grow exponentially because of the education that's out there and because of the programs that they're able to go and volunteer and reach all of these people who, with a greater understanding, they just have a better life all the way around. And that is one of the greatest success stories that I've ever had, and it will always be one of the proudest moments, because it's not about just reaching that goal and that 2 Comma Club award. It's about the impact. And the numbers that I shared with you, we call it our AIM number, our absolute impact metric. And that's what we're after, because we're not going to argue the fact, again, that profitability is good. You have to have revenue and you have to follow your profit margins. But when you do that and you market in such a way and you grow strategically and leverage what you do best, that's the kind of impact that you can have on the world around you. And it's not just that. We've helped launch webinars that have produced $30,000 in just a matter of a couple days. And those sales represent 1,100% return on ad spend. So we can get into the numbers and we can talk about profitability, but it's having the key strategies and communication where you've identified the results, you've gotten a clear, bold message out there, and you repeat the process. It's as simple as that, but it's also a little bit more complicated because you do have to take the time and understand the full overarching strategy and reverse engineer what your future vision is on where you want to go to what we need to put into action now. Crazy strategic, crazy focus, and intentional as heck. We've also increased the profitability of over 40% with most of our clients just by reviewing their product and offerings. Melina, who is a custom graphic designer, and you may recognize her name and her work, because not only did we help consult with her, but she also worked with us for our rebranding, and it's just gorgeous. I cannot tell you how incredibly talented she is. But we helped her create a full value ladder, increase her overall prices, work less, create a clear path of ascension for her customers and clients. She's been closing clients at a higher rate, at her new higher rate, at a higher percentage point on the sales calls with less ease, and creating more programs to support her mission in helping military spouses transition online, and a new program that she's created for helping small local businesses who have been affected through the crisis that we're currently facing, and she's helping transition them online. That is what I'm talking about. That is our mission of impact. Jay went from devastatingly stressed out and overwhelmed with trying to market a lower ticket offer and courses, where he ended up, oh, this just breaks my heart, where he ended up spending over $30,000 in ads before working with me. And instead switched a little bit of his strategy, niched down, and is now closing high ticket coaching clients and become a leader in the industry. I am so proud of the results that we create, and this is just a handful. This is honestly the first time that I took the time to write everything down and reflect, because Parker challenged me to do this. Because typically what we do is we just hit the ground running with our clients, and their success is enough for us. And that is what I love to do. But again, like I said earlier, in celebrating these milestones, especially here with 50 episodes, it makes you reflect on what you want to do next, what you want to contribute. How are we going to keep amplifying this message? And it came time to be bolder, and we do want to share more of these stories. We want to highlight more successes, right? We've helped agencies launch. We've helped outline the #1 bestseller of a book launch. A client closed over $40,000 in sales the other day after a 2-hour consultation call with us just to plan out the offer. Another client planned and launched a challenge, again, in less than 2 hours. We've had clients triple their rates and close the very next call. It's about action. It's about taking those just bold action steps forward and clearly knowing what your mission and what your purpose is, and unapologetically, like, refusing to compromise on that message and just proclaiming it and get it out to the world. So for me, that is what Parker was asking me to do. That is the challenge that we all face today. Are we doing it in our business? And that is the biggest question that I want to leave you with. I want you to soar, right? And that is my obligation, to share and get louder, to not shy away or downplay our successes, but to shine a light, be a beacon, like a lighthouse of hope with what we offer and what we can create. We can serve more, and our AM number, that absolute impact metric, it will continue to increase. When I totaled up ours, I was absolutely shocked. And I'll share that number with you at the end. And that's what this episode means. It's celebrating the steps that we took to get us here, but it's also not settling to stay here. I need to play bigger. I am playing bigger. That is the heart and the soul of Amplify. And if you're listening to this and you're identifying with what I'm saying today, and just do me a favor and ask yourself, do I need to play bigger? Because when I asked myself that, the answer was yes. Am I shying away from being bold in my mission and my message? Am I fully leading, or am I lingering? Don't linger. I lingered for far too long. Once I realized the success that we were able to get with Scott with Just a Simple Dog Training Program, I knew we had a repeatable pattern. But I also knew that I had to get really uncomfortable and step up and be seen and heard so people could find us and we could serve. And that started with publishing. Publishing first for us was Facebook Lives on Facebook, hosting Friday calls that we still host today. And the podcast, when it came around, I didn't even know what I would say or what I would be doing. I didn't even have the confidence. So I easily let excuses take the place for about 9 months before finally pulling the trigger asking for help and getting a team to work on the podcast. Same thing with publishing. I drug my feet, didn't think I had anything valuable to say. I even questioned, what people would think about my accent. I would sit and stare and meditate and have to breathe for about 20 minutes before hitting go live on that little red button, and then just pray that it would be over really, really quick. It was hard. I procrastinated on that too. Just like recording this podcast, I rearranged our kitchen cabinets, the pantry, would willingly fold laundry without question. Like I would go through 3 or 4 loads of laundry before I would willingly go live. And it was stressful. There was anxiety. And I didn't even realize I had anxiety. There's things that we do that push us outside of our comfort zone, and they are extremely uncomfortable. Even here in this now, you may be thinking, I'm not a leader. I don't want to stand in the spotlight. I don't want to step up. I don't want that attention. And everything that you're thinking right now was exactly what was running through my head. Every Facebook Live, every podcast episode, every time I hit record on any platform, anytime I stand up and speak, there's that question. Because we want to serve and we want to add value, and that is why it's more important to get your message out there. Because you care about the results. And when you care about the results, the uncomfortableness is worth it. Because typically when you care about the results, it's because you can get results and you don't want someone to fail. More people who are leaders, who care about the results of others and don't want people to fail, need to be out there. There's people who are desperate for help and they will go anywhere to find it. And if we're not willing to play that bigger game, to be louder, to be that beacon, they'll find someone else who doesn't care as much as you or I. So that is the responsibility that I have to take on. That is why I wanted to share with you this message on podcast number 50, because this message was a huge possibility of not even being out into the market and to the airwaves on podcasts. Like the fact that we're celebrating 50 episodes is still huge and shocking to me, because I am much, much, much more comfortable in the background and not in the spotlight. But we have to turn the light on. We have to be bold. We have to lead and leave nothing behind. And of course, we have to amplify the heck out of our mission. And that is the promise that I make to all of my team, to everyone that we work with, all of our clients with Amplify, the coaching program, the agency, and the future clients that we work with. And my promise to you. That is what we do. And that is what we're awesome at. So as I wrap up, I want to leave you with a question that I will ask myself every single day. If your intentions are to grow, serve, and lead, do your actions reflect that? Are you showing up, serving, publishing boldly? Are you communicating clearly and with a clear call to action? Are you making an offer? Are you asking for the sale? Are you shouting from the rooftops what you are amazing at, what results that you can get, sharing your success stories, and then making the offer for someone to work with you? Yes? No? Maybe? I have a really good friend tell me once, it's either a hell yes or it's a no. There is no halfway and there is no in between. And that's where we stand right here at episode 50. What are we awesome at Amplify My Impact? We are awesome at getting your message out there, growing your boldness and your authority, and leveraging platforms from organic to social media and a full comprehensive strategy that works together to grow and nurture a lifetime value of customers like never before. To create leaders that care about impact as much as income and growth and revenue as much as relationships. We are a legacy company in every single way. Leadership isn't optional when you want to lead with impact. It's a way of being, it's a state of being, it's a mindset that even though there's resistance, there's hesitation, you choose to step into it anyway. If you are ready to be that leader in your business and in your market, go to amplifymyimpact.com and book a breakthrough call with us. We can amplify your message and create that legacy brand that you've been dreaming about. But it takes action, boldness in action. Again, back to that question. Are you leading or are you lingering? I refuse to linger, and we will lead. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here with episode 50. Thank you for being here on the journey and sharing this podcast. We are absolutely on a mission to not only amplify our message, but to amplify your message in every way, shape, and form. If you are an impact-driven business or marketer and we can help each other grow, please reach out to us. Do not hesitate. But just know it's not going to be easy. It's a role that you have to take full ownership on. And there are people and businesses that we have told no, that may not be ready, that may not be a good fit. But we are still going to be there to walk beside them and grow through publishing and resources and just all sorts of things in any way that we can serve. But as far as agency and coaching, I wholeheartedly believe that we serve at a level of integrity based on those who are fully taking ownership and ready to take those action steps to just amplify their mission, their impact, their message with the world around them. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope you've received value, encouragement, and exactly what you need to help keep you in momentum to grow and impact the world around you. Big or small, we all make a difference. Thanks also for subscribing, downloading, and leaving a review. This helps us reach others who need this message in their life. If you know anyone who would benefit from this podcast, please share so you and I can help more people boldly step into purpose. It is my heart's mission to help and encourage others. My internal belief that a rising tide lifts all ships. So much of what we talk about on the podcast is leading with value and building relationships through service. So we've created a collection of resources for you to continue growing, whether you are just getting started or ready to scale your business. Visit amplifymyimpact.com for show notes, downloads, programs, and more information about how to directly work with our team to amplify your impact and change the world.